What's good in the whole YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing another video. Today I'm bringing a video on Morphicon 2018, and this video will be focused on my experience at Morphicon for day 0 and probably day 1 as well. And then I will have another video that will likely be the continuation for day 2 and 3, or maybe a day 2 and then a day 3. Mainly because these videos, if I were to make them into one big one, it would last probably about 40 to 50 minutes in length, and I'd rather cut these up into videos that are more along the lines of 15 to 25 minutes tops for these videos. So let's get started, if not less in some cases. So I want to just say this right now: Morphicon is the biggest Power Rangers convention that happens every 2 years. It has the most Power Rangers actors, voice actors, suit actors, you name it, it's all there. It's super fun, it's super exciting. It has actors from Big Bad Beetleborgs, VR Troopers, and Super Sentai, and several other things as well. And it's just a great time. I went there this past weekend and I had a ton of fun. I was in California for 5 days, and I'd like to go through my whole situation. Also, I have several other videos planned for Morphicon. I have my whole video, which may be up already. I have this video and then the continuation. I have Beast Morphers trailer, Beast Morphers cast, Power Rangers 25th anniversary trailer that was recently revealed. What else is there? Power Morphicon Express, Power Morphicon 2020, Boom Studios, Renegade Studios, live streams, Lightning Collection, Hasbro, new merchandise, and maybe some other stuff as well, like Shadow Grid Live and a few other things that I might be discussing in big detail. So let's get started. For starters, I ended up going to a flight that was going to happen at around 8 something. It got delayed till 4. So instead, what actually ended up happening was I ended up looking for a standby flight that happened earlier in the day. That flight was around 9 something. So fortunately for me, I was able to get in the standby flight, even though it was one of the last 2 people to get on. And originally, the person I was going to be with might have had to go at a later time, but fortunately, we both managed to get on at the same time, though we weren't able to sit with each other. Unfortunate, but better than nothing. So what did end up happening was that I managed to watch 2 movies while I was on the plane, so that was good. Both movies I hadn't seen before, so I was happy about that. And eventually I got to California and was brought over to my hotel, which only took us about 20 minutes to a half an hour to get to the hotel from the airport. Such a big difference from what it used to be when we used to have to go from LAX to Pasadena, where it would take us more like about an hour at least, I believe, just to get there, because there was nothing closer. But in this case, it was much closer. We went to the Orange County airport, which was pretty good. It wasn't that bad as far as distance wise, so I was pretty happy about that. As far as things go, it was a day 0 day. I wasn't able to go to the command center event, which I did end up hearing that it did get postponed for like 3 hours or so for them to get a new bus, because the bus actually broke down, which means I could have theoretically gone to the event, but I just didn't choose to. I probably would have been able to, though. The command center event basically was just to go to the command center, be with Austin St. John. Originally, it was going to be also a chance to see special locations where the show was filmed for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but due to the bus breaking down, they didn't have enough time for that, and people were mainly only able to get things signed, meet Austin St. John, take some cool pictures with him, be at the command center itself, and just have an interesting time. So all that happened. Following this, what also ended up occurring was that instead of going to that, I ended up having to try to get checked into my room. As far as things go, I didn't get my bags until about 2 p.m. Pacific time, which, if you understand this now, I come from the East Coast, where it's like 5 a.m. Pacific time, meaning that I had to wait till really late into the next day just to get my bag so that I could take a shower. And fortunately I got them before I woke up, but it still kind of was awful. Anyway, I did manage to go to Downtown Disney for that first day because I didn't have enough time to really do much else, and I did try to go to the special signing for Austin St. John. I did miss it just slightly, which kind of was unfortunate, but he was super busy, and he's one of those actors that when it comes to people and him interacting with them. He's an actor that wants to spend all his time with them, and he hates to make people wait, and he hates to have it where people don't get the chance to interact with him, because he wants everyone to get the chance. No matter if you've seen him once or if you've seen him 500 times, he still wants you to have that opportunity. And he was signing a special shirt that was only available at the convention. So I did miss that, but then I ended up having day one happen. Day one was pretty interesting. Though the convention time was fairly short, a lot of stuff that happened prior to the actual day starting was pretty long. For starters, there was just getting in line, which happened, I got there around 8:30 or so to wait in line for the start of the day. I ended up having to wait till about 12 o'clock, which was when they opened the doors. Fortunately, I was a platinum membership, which means that I was on the platinum gold line, and I was towards the front of it, which meant that I was one of the first people to get my badge and to get my packet that would say all the stuff that I should be getting. So that's important to note. And then once I got that, which took an additional hour after we got inside the registration line, then I had to wait an additional like 3 hours plus, because what actually ended up happening was that I should have gotten in around 3, and usually platinum and gold get in an hour before everyone else, because that's basically one of the big perks of being a platinum gold membership, is that you get in an hour earlier than everyone else. But because of how much time it took for them to set up, it actually led to everyone having to go in at the same time, which really made it make no sense at all, because it's like the whole point is that we're supposed to be in early, and yet there were some people who were getting in at the exact same time as we were, even though they shouldn't be doing it at all. So it really kind of sucked, and it really put us at a disadvantage over what we were supposed to be gaining from this convention. Which, let me explain this to you from both perspectives, why it was understandable and why it wasn't. First of all, I want to explain this to you, why this whole situation with the lines happened, why lines were such a big deal during this convention. Lines were consistently a problem, but the registration line situation was the biggest one. And the main reason why that actually happened was because of the fact that they only had one person running each membership at a time. So if you were red, you only had one person dealing with red. If you were blue, you had only one person dealing with blue. If you had platinum and gold, they actually had a couple people, but really it was very tight, and they really didn't structure it well. And a lot of people were saying after, like when they were registering, that they wish that more people, that they wish that they would have known about this, because they would have been willing to help out, even stuff packets or whatever, just so that people could enjoy their experience and maybe make things move faster. And personally, I wouldn't mind doing that in the future myself, just to make everyone's life easier. So as far as things go after that, eventually we did get in after a lot of stress. But again, the two main reasons for and against: for, because it's the first time at Anon Convention Center; against, mainly because of the fact that they've done Morphicon 5 times, so it's not like they haven't experienced large crowds before, but I guess this one was way more than they had anticipated. That's the main justification that I could assume came from why it took so long for things to get dealt with. So as far as things go, otherwise, day one, after that, I ended up going into redemptions. I got most of my stuff that I needed to get, aside from a couple of shirts and also the big 36-inch by 24-inch poster, which I didn't get till day 3, when the Lord Draken throne started showing up. I did manage to get my Legacy Lord Draken figure, which was good, and eventually I ended up heading off to the Hasbro booth just to examine that, because they actually had some really cool screen-used suits on display for monsters, for rangers, for really just everyone was kind of represented here. So let me go through the list of each. For starters, we had on one end the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger suit on display. It was screen used. RPM Silver Scorpina suit was on display. Sledge was on display. Phantom Ranger Lightspeed Red. Dino Thunder Yellow. They also had Robo Knight on display, which he definitely had the most damage to his suit, which meant that he was used probably a ton. And then we had Ninja Steel Pink, SPD Swap Mode Green, and I think that's about it for the suits. Now, as far as things go otherwise, they also had props from several seasons on display. Not every season, but several seasons. They had props from the Power Rangers movie, like the Green Ranger helmet from the Power Rangers movie for Rita, but they also had props from Mighty Morphins, from Mighty Morphin, props from Zeo, Turbo, In Space, Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Dino Thunder, nothing for Ninja Storm or Wild Force, I believe. What else was there? I said Dino Thunder. SPD, Mystic Force was there. Operation Overdrive had the Excalibur sword. RPM for sure. I know RPM was there. Samurai. I don't remember if Mega Force or Super Mega Force was, no, Mega Force was definitely represented. I believe Super Mega Force was also represented in props. Dino Charge definitely had props on display. I'm trying to think what else there was. They did have Ninja Steel props on display and Super Ninja Steel props. And they had stuff from Beyond the Grid for the Power Rangers, Boom Studios stuff, so that's good. Trying to think what else. They also had the 25-year haul of helmets, which had this whole entire shelf that featured helmets from, like, one helmet for each season of the show. So Mighty Morphin season 1, 2, 3, and then, you know, each subsequent season situation. So like Dino Charge, they have Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge, you know, and they'd have different things to represent each one. And then they also had this brand new logo, which had the 25th anniversary. It said Power Ranger 25th anniversary, and then it had it inside of a Power Morpher. So that was pretty cool. And that was really exciting to see. As far as things go otherwise, they did have this drop mix device at their booth, which allowed you to use a special card which had the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song, and then you could use these special cards as well to adjust it, make different sound effects, make it go faster, make it go slower, do all sorts of really cool stuff. It kind of made it out like you could be your own kind of DJ with it. So that was kind of cool. As far as things go otherwise, they ended up, after all that was said and done, I ended up going to several vendors, seeing how their panels, seeing what merchandise was on display for Power Rangers, for Kamen Rider, for Super Sentai. There was merchandise, there were Sentai suits, there were Sentai costumes, you name it. It was crazy. I got to meet a bunch of actors on day one. I got to meet Brendan J. McLaren, who played Jack, the SPD Red Ranger. I got to meet Sid, the SPD Pink Ranger, which was played by Ali Pruitt. I also got to meet Kelson Henderson, who played Boom, who also played Mick from Power Rangers Ninja Steel. He was such a nice guy and someone that I needed to meet. I also ended up meeting Adam Tooman, who played Hunter from Power Rangers Ninja Storm, the Crimson Red Ranger, and also I finally got to actually chat with and meet Jorge, the Ninja Storm Navy Blue Ranger. So I got to meet Blue and Red and Crimson Red. So I got to meet both Thunderstorm Rangers at this convention, and it was super nice to meet them both. I got things signed by all those actors. I also ended up getting to meet, oh, that's who that was. Okay. I was trying to remember something like who signed a certain item, and I just remember that one of my comics was signed by Kelson, and I didn't remember that that's what it was that he signed. Because I knew he signed something, but I forget what it was. So anyway, what does end up happening, what I did end up doing after all that, I did end up going to two panels. One was the SPD panel, which had 4 of the SPD Rangers, except for Monica May, who played Z, the Yellow Ranger for SPD. She didn't show up till day 2. Greg Arnowitz was there, and Kelson Henderson was there, so that was a cool panel. And then I also went to the Shining Six Rangers panel, which was very cool. That panel had a number of Six Rangers. I'm actually trying to remember now who they had. They had Justin Nemo, who played Zane, Jeff Perezio, who played Trent, Mike Jin, who played Jem, Cameron Jevo, who played Orion, Philip Andrew, who played Merrick, Dan Southworth, who played Eric, and also Nikolai Nikolaev, who played Dominic. So those were the Rangers that were at that panel. Super cool to see them. They had some awesome things that happened there. Each of them got a chance to speak, answer questions, whether it be from the moderator or just in general. People asked them questions based on their individual seasons. Some more than others, though. Nikolai Nikolaev was especially exciting just because he's someone that doesn't really do conventions all that much, and he was at San Diego Comic-Con. People were kind of hoping that he would show up to this, but then suddenly it turned out that, like, oh, look, he's there. I wonder if he'll be showing up. And then it's like a couple of weeks later, they confirmed that, yes, he is showing up. So that's very, very cool. As far as other things go that I can say from day one, I completely forgot about this in all my other trials of making this video. They did announce that they're doing a Soul of Chodokin Titanus, so that's very cool. They've already done like the Megazord, the Dragon Zord, and they've done the SH figure art of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers red through green and also white, and then also the helmetless red and green, and they're doing the white helmetless. But it's cool to see that they're also going to be doing this Titanus Soul of Shotoken, which will probably be about $300 as well. And they had some other cool stuff on display, so that's very, very exciting. And as far as things go otherwise with day one, the main thing I want to discuss about day one otherwise was I did manage to go to the Heroes of the Grid game. I got to be one of the first people to play the game, which was really good. I liked it a lot. I wish I was able to play it for the full length of time that they had it available, but unfortunately, because I was so busy with stuff, I had to leave in the middle because I had to go to the VIP meet and greet, which was totally worth going to, although I wanted to go back another day and actually get to really play it, but I just didn't have time, you know? I really didn't. So as far as things go otherwise, I managed to, while I was before I actually went up to the VIP meet and greet, I managed to get the Power Morphicon exclusive number 30 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic. That was a exclusive cover that featured the Evolution 3 suit of Lord Draken, so that was really cool to get. I was really happy to manage to purchase that, and I know that they were running low on those towards the end, so it's good to get them when they were available, of course. As far as things go otherwise, day one, I did manage to go to the VIP meet and greet, as I said before. That one was super fun. There were so many different actors there. It was the one event that most people had no idea what was happening when they got there, especially if you went very early, because first of all, they had like this bar, which the bar had some drinks, and that was good, like a good mix of stuff. And otherwise, it was like there was these big lines that people didn't understand how they worked, what was the point of them or anything, because like there was at first this one line that didn't lead to anything, so people were just like, what is the point of this line, like what are they doing? And when I went down that line, it just led to nothing, so no one knew what to expect. But then later on, a number of actors started showing up, and also they ended up having these fireworks for Disney. So first of all, we got to see these Disney fireworks from the balcony. Then on top of that, actors from Time Force showed up, so Dan Southworth, who played Eric, Jason Fallon, who played Wes and Alex, showed up, Vernon Wells, who played Rancic, showed up, Deborah Estelle Phillips, who played Katie, showed up, David J. Felding showed up, Walter Jones showed up, Jason Narvi, Paul Schreier, Jorge from Ninja Storm. Jason Narvi, by the way, played Skull. Paul Schreier played Bulk. David Felding played Zordon, by the way. And Jorge and Adam Tooman. That's Ninja Storm. That's the Thunderstorm Rangers. Jorge was Crimson, was navy blue, and Adam was Crimson Red. So those were all there. Andre Meadows, who played Hyperforce Blue Ranger, was there. Michael Lasky, who played young Rocky, was there. I believe Steve Cardenas may have shown up for like a short time. I know that Blake Foster, who played Justin, was there from Power Rangers Turbo. Roger Velasco was there. And Roger Velasco played Carlos. I forget if Solon Ward showed up. I think he did. There's just a lot of actors that showed up. I know that Kelsey from Power Rangers Lightspeed showed up. Sean C.W. Johnson, who played Carter, I believe, showed up for a short time. Jack Guzman, who played Danny from Power Rangers Wild Force. Philip Andrew, who played Merrick from Power Rangers Wild Force. Both of them showed up. Tracy Lynn Cruz, I believe, showed up for a short time. She played Ashley from Power Rangers Turbo and Power Rangers in Space. Christopher Kamen Lee, I think, showed up for a short time. He played Justin Nemo. I'm trying to remember now, because there's a number of actors that did, and a number of actors that went out to eat dinner with a group of other Rangers. I can't remember all of them. The ones that I personally got to interact with were Michael Lasky, who played young Rocky, Blake Foster a little bit, who played Justin from Power Rangers Turbo, Roger Velasco, who played Carlos from Power Rangers In Space and Power Rangers Turbo, David J. Felding, who played Zordon, and I think there was one or two others that I can't think of that I interacted with. But it was just a good time to just kind of drink, get a drink or two, party with these Rangers, and just have a good time. It was just a really fun time. It lasted a couple of hours, and then I ended up going back to my room while also chatting with one of the actors from the show. So that was kind of cool, and yeah. That was a really good time. So I think this is where I'm going to stop my day 0, day 1 video for my Power Morphicon experience, and then I will continue with my day 2 and maybe day 3 in the same video, or 2 separate ones, depending on how long that one is. So that's about it for me for this video. Until then, guys, I'm Crazy Samurai 71, and goodbye, guys.